Okay. I hope this turns out better than last week. Ah, here's a mess. Um, so please check out my Star Trek recaps on Fridays. Also check out my If Then episodes Friday afternoons. And Flashback Mondays where I talk about all the books in this magazine. Usually 50 or 60 or 70, depending on how carried away I get. I try and do 5 from each genre: historical romance, contemporary romance, mystery, sci fi, suspense, harlequin, erotica, paranormal, inspirational. Try to hit them all. And welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books and we talk about books. There's no special effects going on here. What you see is what you get. That's it. It's just me reading books, talking books. And today we are doing suspense. If then suspense. I hope this works out. I'm trying here. We did thrillers last week. We're doing suspense this week. I hope you go back and check out my Black authors. If then, no one has watched. Native Americans with Tony Hillerman, no one has watched. I got vampires out there. I got werewolves out there. I got witches out there. We got homicides out there, forensics out there. We started with the Brigatons. We'll probably go back and do another set of Regency soon. Need you to check out all of those, please, please. And my daily book reviews. We have finished up Victoria Thompson's Gaslight series, and I did 2 extra episodes for that. I did one going through the series order, just giving you a list, showing you each book in order kind of quickly. And then the following week, please check out, I dedicated a whole episode to Mrs. Ellsworth. I love Mrs. Ellsworth and her quotes. Some of the quotes were book related, some of them were just generalization, and I just went through all 26, 27 books and did that. Now we have to wait till next year for the next one. I'm gonna go try and see if there's a new counterfeit one to do, and we'll finish it. We're moving along James Patterson's Albatross series, and we are moving along J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and we will be starting C.S. Harris soon. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, let's get into suspense. If I had the technology, which I don't, if I had the talent, which obviously I don't have talent, or creative ability, which I don't, I'm not, you see how creative I am. This is as creative as if I get. So obviously I'm lacking creativity in my life. Because if I had creativity, I'd be in a dark room, I'd have suspenseful music playing, I'd have the lights dimmed. I can't control any of that. I can't do any of that. I don't have any of that technology. All I have are my pals here, my reluctant co hosts. I don't want to be on camera, Mommy. I want to go sit on the couch. And we are. This afternoon, we're going to spend the entire afternoon sitting on the couch reading Krista Davis. And you'll see that review in a couple of days. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Shall we get to it? The first couple, we're going to do pictures. That's as creative as I get, is putting up those pictures. And it takes extra long. Dinosaur, they say dinosaur computer, uh, slow internet. It takes about 6 hours for me to upload a video. If it doesn't take you that long, really good, but it takes me that long. So we're going to start out with William Stacy and Flicker. When Chloe Davis was 12, 6 teenage girls went missing in her small Louisiana town. By the end of the summer, Chloe's father had been arrested as a serial killer and promptly put in prison. Chloe and the rest of the family were left to grapple with the truth and try to move forward while dealing with the aftermath. Now, 20 years later, Chloe is a psychologist in a private practice in Baton Rouge and getting ready for her wedding. She finally has fragile grasp on the happiness she's worked so hard to get. Sometimes, though, she feels as out of control of her life as the troubled teens who are her patients. And then a local teen girl goes missing, and then another, and that terrifying summer comes crashing back. Is she paranoid, seeking parallels that aren't really there, Or for the second time in her life, is she about to unmask a killer? Spooky. D.D. Black. Um, the 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 bones. Just a second here. Where is my list? Yeah, the bones. Um, Tom Austin was once a New Star NYPD detective known for locking up a psychotic serial, the Holiday Butcher. Now a retired small town, Austin runs a little cafe trying to overcome the loss of his life, a district attorney who was gunned down only a year ago. But when a mysterious bag of bones appears on a beach, Austin is dragged back into law enforcement for one last job. The holiday baby butcher is behind bars, so it has to be a copycat. But with each new clue, the killer comes closer and closer to the real thing. Now Austin must overcome the darkness of his past to chase a killer as twisted as any America has ever seen. And when Austin learns the truth, it's twisting so shocking it shakes him to the core. The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. As he continues showing me their incredible penthouse apartment, I have a terrible feeling about the woman behind closed doors, but I can't risk losing this job, not if I want to keep my darkest secrets safe. It's hard to find an employer who doesn't ask too many questions about my past, so I thank my lucky stars that Garrick's miraculously give me a job, cleaning their stunning penthouse with views across the city and preparing fancy meals in their shiny kitchen. I can work here a while, stay quiet until I get what I want. It's almost perfect. But I still haven't met Mrs. Garrett or seen inside the guest room. I'm sure I hear her crying. I notice spots of blood around the neck of her white gown when I do laundry, and one day I can't help but knock on the door. It gently swings open, and what I see inside changes everything. Ooh. Colleen Hoover, Verity. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, a husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. When Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read, page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of what really happened the day her daughter died. I wasn't going to do it this way, but as long as I'm on this roll. Laurie King, The Lantern's Dance. Mary Russell and Sherlock Holmes, hoping for a respite in the French countryside, are instead caught up in a case that turns both bewildering and intensely personal. After their recent adventures in Transylvania, Russell and Holmes look forward to spending time with Holmes's son, the famous artist Damien Adler and his family. But when they arrive at Damien's house, they discover that the Adlers have fled from a mysterious threat. Holmes rushes after Damien while Russell, slowed down by a recent injury, stays behind to search the empty house. In Damon's studio, she discovers 4 crates packed with memorabilia related to Holmes' grand uncle, the artist Horace Vernet. It's an odd mixture of treasure and clutters, including tarnished silver lamp with a rotating antique yet sophisticated form as Zetro, fitted with strips of paper that images dance with the lantern spin. In the same crate is an old journal written in an impenetrable code. Intrigued, Russell sets out deciphering the intricate cryptograph, slowly realizing that each entry is built around an image, the first of which is a child bundled into a carriage by an abductor, watching her mother recede from view. And Russell is troubled with what she reads. Mark Sullivan, Beneath the Scarlet Sky. Based on a true story of a forgotten hero, Beneath the Scarlet Sky is triumph epic tale of one young man's incredible courage and resilience during one of history's very darkest, horriblest times. Pino Lello wants to do nothing to do with the war of the Nazis. He's a normal Italian teenager obsessed with music, food, and girls. but his days of innocence are numbered when his family home in Milan is destroyed by Allied bombs. Pino joins an underground railroad helping Jews escape over the Alps and falls for Anna, a beautiful widow 6 years his senior. In an attempt to protect him, Pino's parents force him to enlist as a German soldier, a move they think will keep him out of combat. But after Pino is injured, he is recruited at the tender age of 18 to become the personal driver of Hitler in Italy. Oh my God. Let's move on. All right. Now, all right, I said that one. Oh, shoot. I really screwed up here. Ken Follett. Never. Every catastrophe begins with a little problem that doesn't get fixed. So says Pauline Green, President of the United States. A shrinking oasis in the Sahara Desert, a stolen U.S. Army drone, an inhabited Japanese island, and one country's secret stash of deadly chemical poisons. All of these play roles in a relentless escalating crisis. Struggling to prevent the outbreak of world war, a young woman intelligence officer, a spy working undercover with jihadists, a brilliant Chinese spy master, and Pauline herself beleaguered by a populist revival in the next presidential election. Interesting. And large print. We love large print. Just cross this off. Oops, crossed the wrong one. Alright. Bridged. Uh, you know, I really should have put these in order. Oh, okay. What'd I do with it? Okay. Bridged. Kendra Elliott. 4.5 stars. Elliott's follow up to Vanish will make your skin crawl in a good way. This top notch thriller writer knows romance just as well as she knows how to keep you glued to your seat until the end of a story, which will be branded onto your brain for a very, very long time. The characters alone will repeatedly draw you into the thick of the tale, which gets going right away in the first chapter. Ava McLean suffers from a gunshot wound, but nothing makes her heart hurt more than the pain gorgeous police detective Mason Callahan inflicts upon her. Once the Oregon police team up with the FBI, they both know that the murder of a congressman found in Portland is much more important than burning desire between man and woman. As the dead bodies keep turning up, the two have no choice but to suppress their attraction and get down to business. But as they go through the motions of professionally and Ava's twin gets drawn into the scene, they try to discover what's more important, a love that can't quit or family. Interesting. Tammy Hoag. Cold, cold art. Let's see. I thought I did this so well, and obviously I did not do this well. See, low expectations. Old Cold Heart. 4.5 stars. Master storyteller Hoag focuses her new book on the surviving victim of a serial killer from a previous book, The Ninth Girl, and explores what happens next. Less of a thriller and more of a psychological study, Hoag vividly explores the aftermath of violence, PTSD, and head trauma on individuals, delving into the new reality of former TV reporter Dana Nolan makes for a haunting tale. That Dana Nolan not only survived horrific torture but managed to kill her abuser, a serial killer called Doc Holliday, is a miracle. However, the physical and psychological damage she suffers is extensive. Severe head trauma has left Dana with jagged memory gaps and some brain damage. To recover, Dana returns home to Shelby Mills, Indiana. The media fascination with Dana revives an interest in an old mystery, the disappearance of her best friend, Casey Grant. Strangely for Dana, part of her own recovery may lie in finding the truth about what happened to Casey, though stirring up the past may be the quickest way to cause danger in the present. See what happens there. And compulsion. Allison Brennan, 4.5 stars. Max is back and up to her neck in trouble again. Storyteller Brennan brings back her intrepid investigative reporter for a second helping of suspense. The trial for accused serial killer Adam Bachman is about to begin, and amazingly, Max has managed to arrange a brief interview with Bachman. He's accused of 5 murders in New York, but Max is positive that he's only behind the disappearance of Jim and Sandy Palazzo. Max is convinced Adam didn't act alone, so who is his partner? Max starts digging deep. Unfortunately for Max, there's a bigger shame in motion, and the killer is about to spring. Oops. Friction. Four and a half stars. A routine child custody hearing turns into a frightening nightmare in the latest sizzling hot thriller from the incomparable Brown. With a hero whose emotions are running on the edge and a heroine who could destroy his chance of custody of his daughter, Brown's latest packs plenty of passion into deadly thrills. After spiraling down following his wife's death, Crawford Hunt has cleaned up his act and now wants to regain custody of his 4-year-old daughter from her maternal grandmother. The grandparents are fighting bitterly, so Crawford is unsure how Judge Holly Spencer will rule. The case gets put on hold when a masked gunman enters and begins shooting. At first, Crawford is called the hero for saving Holly, but as events take unusual turns, the pendulum swings. Holly suddenly finds her life caught up with Crawford, and is apparent at least one of them has a deadly enemy. Ah, shoot. There's my co-host. She's over there. She's with me. She's keeping an eye on me. Ah, alright, fiction. The last time I saw her, Aaron Robarts, 4.5 stars. The always talented Robards brings her uniquely compelling, ghostly romantic suspense series to a truly magnificent close. The evolution of her strange but utterly riveting romance between Dr. Charlotte Charlie Stone and the deceased convicted killer Michael Garland has been transfixing to read. After the ghostly Michael saves her and then disappears once again, Charlie fears he may be gone for good. While grieving next to Michael's grave, Charlie is gut punched to be approached by a dead ringer for Michael, a man named Rick Hughes. Could Hughes be Michael's unknown twin? If so, and if his DNA is the same as Michael's, could he be the real serial killer? We'll see what happens there. We've talked about this lady a lot on Flashback Mondays. What you see. 4.5 stars. Award winner Ryan is a master at her craft. She continues her Jane Ryland series with Jane and Jake Brogan, covering another case that leaves them at odds romantically. This is an exceptionally suspense and written Ryan's intimate style. As the story unfolds, murder, kidnapping, and secret videotapes keep the couple busy. After parting ways with the second-rate newspaper, Jane feared she'd never get another shot at reporting. Her first assignment involves a stabbing, and she runs into an admirer who claims to have photos of the entire incident. But family emergency interrupts the interview. Jane attempts to juggle her private life with professional obligations. Struggling to salvage her job at forced with unemployment, she believes family comes first. Can she balance both well? resolving the dilemma of whose story to believe. See, we shall see. Just move my stuff. This is the What You See is What You Get podcast. Little old me. Um, so what? Oh, Mr. Scary himself. Mr. Mr. Scare Your Pants Off himself. Him and Stephen King should form their own little horror club. Dean Koontz, Ashley Bell, 4.5 stars. Through his long and outstanding career, Koontz has made a habit of melding and crossing genres to create his own brand of unforgettable fiction. Just when you think he can't top himself, Koontz proves us wrong by creating this most mind-blowing and amazing book to date. Bibi Blair's doctor tells us she has a form of brain cancer and only a year to live. When Bibi makes a miraculous overnight recovery, everyone is astonished. Struggling to understand what has happened, Bibi consults with a woman named Kalina Butterfly, who convinces her that she escaped death because she has a mission to save someone named Ashley Bell. But who is Ashley Bell? It quickly becomes apparent that Bibi has mysterious and dangerous enemies who are willing to do anything to stop her. He's a scary man, Mr. Koontz. A scary man. Um, hey? Obviously, this is wrong. Oh, wait a second. Let me see. What you see is what you get. I am sorry that I am an inadequate person. I try my best. Obviously, there are people out there that are better than me. So, target engaged. ML Buchanan. Book 1 in Buchanan's new series, Delta Force, starts off with a unique feel as Delta candidates compete in a rigorous selection process to hopefully become Delta recruits. Buckman changes up the game plan here, though, as readers get to watch his new Delta Force team as it's created, with members going on a mission together and becoming comrades. Buchanan's writing style feels a touch different here, as there is more engagement of secondary characters. Rest assured, Target engages every bit as his other series. Kyle Views is highly intrigued by a female Delta candidate, Carla Anderson. Sure, she might be the only female around, but it's just not her good looks that impress the hell out of him. And this is not a suspenseful novel, and I am sorry I made a mistake. Um, this is not the one on my list. Oh, yes, it is. Well, I made a mistake. But so they get involved. Now the two of them, along with the rest of the team, have tasks with disrupting a powerful drug smuggling ring in Venezuela. Yes, they might be on a deadly mission, but these two still can't keep their hands off each other. Sorry. That was more that it's a suspense book, but it's got more sex in it than I would want in my suspense recommendations. But that's okay. Everybody has likes their own stuff. Um, and it's not the one that I had listed here. Let me see if I can find the next one. Okay. Um, why did I? Oh, my brain's on the wrong thing. Kill Without Mercy. One of my authors, Alexander Ivy. And if you want to see her identity, please go watch Dirty 30, New Year's Eve, and then go watch. Well, actually, go and watch all the Janet Ivanoviches. She goes off all the time. It got 4.5 stars. Kill Without Mercy. The always outstanding Ivy kicks off a new series featuring 5 comrades who survived a Taliban prison and escaped together. Now stateside, these former military friends have formed area security. Kill Without Mercy focuses on Rafe Vargas, who gets broiled in a supposedly solved serial killer case. Following his estranged grandfather's death, Rafe Vargas has to leave Houston and area security for a brief time to clear out his grandfather's house in Newton, Iowa. Rafe no sooner arrives than he meets Annie White, another visitor to the area. Because of dreams and visions she's having, Annie feels compelled to return to Newton, where she briefly lived as a child. Annie was placed in foster care after her father was revealed to be the infamous serial killer, the Newton Slayer. Oh, Nafe is gonna save her butt. Yay! Alright. Thomas Thomas Perry. 40 Thieves. Um, I am sorry for the delay. I am not a very good editor. So what you see is what you get. Thomas Perry, 40 Thieves. The juxtaposition of ex-LAPD Sid and Ronnie Abel with assassins Ed and Nicole Hoyt is brilliant, but the differences and similarities between the two couples are interesting, and readers will enjoy the investigating alongside them. Sid and Ronnie Abel are private investigators who have been hired to solve the year-old murder case of James Ballantyne. Ed and Nicole Hoyt are assassins who have been hired to eliminate Sid and Ronnie. As both couples go around in circles trying to figure out what is truly going on and who is behind it, they both seem to be one step ahead of the other, which is truly one step behind the true culprit. We might include this in our private investigator if then. Um, no. Lisa Gardner. This might be the wrong book. Yep. Yes, it is. So I need to get a picture. Okay. So Lisa Gardner. 4.5 stars. Gardner is known for creating complex, fascinating characters, and none fit the bill more than Flora Dane. Flora is a survivor of a hell few can comprehend, and its effects on her persona are profound. Although Boston detective Dee Warren is supposed to be on desk duty, she is on the scene when a naked bound woman is found with the abductor she managed to kill. Flora Dane was also kidnapped as a college student. She was tortured, raped, and mentally degraded for 472 days before she was rescued. 5 years later, Flora is still adjusting, and this is not the first time since then that she's tangled with abusers. Dee Dee thinks Flora has turned vigilante. When Flora disappears, Dee Dee suspects a sinister predator has been watching Flora, waiting to strike. And my cat has taken an entire roll of paper towels. If you'll excuse me while I rescue my paper towels. Karen Rose, Alone in the Dark. 4.5 stars. Intricately woven characters set with a hot, well crafted, suspenseful plot. marks the latest from Rose. Marcus and Scarlet are two haunted, worried, yet tough characters, and their intense emotional and physical connection will hook readers in. Rose's precise storytelling expresses the high stakes tension well. A call from a newspaper publisher and ex-Army Ranger Marcus O'Banion leads Detective Scarlett Bishop to a crime scene where a woman has been shot to death in an alley. With an unspoken connection between them, Marcus and Scarlett investigate, heading down a treacherous path of danger that puts them in the center of human trafficking. They are both invested in seeking the truth at their risk of their lives and hearts. I was just at a lecture on human trafficking the other day. They're trying to raise awareness by spreading the news on it, and it exists everywhere. And it's not. Um, the stories are horrific and very, very sad. That these predators gain your confidence, they they people that are lonely, or they separate them from their families and get them to do stuff and end up torturing them or brainwashing them. It's really, really sad. It's really sad. They said to call the helpline. Okay. Um, Elizabeth Hand, Hard Light, 4 stars. Hand has created a twisted story in Cass Neary's latest adventure. The imagery is dark and intense, pushing readers to the edge of their comfort level, and it's not for the faint of heart. Despite Cass's drug and alcohol addiction, she has a brilliant mind and immense knowledge of art history catches readers by surprise. Her compassion shows up in an unexpected way and links her to her readers who find themselves both loving and hating her at the same time. Cass Neary sneaks into London with a stolen passport only to find herself quickly drawn into a dark web of betrayal and murder. As Cass digs into the lives of those around her, she makes enemies at every corner, and even claiming to be with the law are untrustworthy. When the body count begins to rise and Cassie's boyfriend Queen goes missing, Cass turns to the closest person she has any trust in and soon finds herself in a dire situation. See what happens there. Let's see. Ah, this. I thought I did this one, but obviously I didn't. Um. Now wait a minute. Let's back up and do this one. It takes one. 4 stars. Carve out some time to read this series starter. It's hard to put down. Though the murder mystery plotline is compelling, it's just one element of the story that keeps readers hooked. Kessler also draws us inside. Protagonist Audrey says the readers get to decipher all of the people around her as she does. It's especially fun when her love interest Jake gets involved. After horrific twists, readers will be relieved by the book's ending and left craving for the next one. Criminal psychologist Audrey Hart hasn't been back to her small town in Maine for 7 years. And who does she run to first? Jake, the guy who broke her heart, and Maggie's ex best friend, whose abusive father they murdered as teenagers. A heated exchange outside Gracie's the bar Jake inherited ends with Audrey shoving a drunk Maggie so hard she falls backward into the crowd of gathered to watch. The next day, Jake's sister discovered a body on the beach. Maggie was murdered in the middle of the night. Audrey knows she's the first suspect, so she starts her own investigation to prove her innocence. Hope she does. Uh, I do not know what happened to this book. Just a second here. Oh, right in front of my face. Deep dark. Laura Griffin. 4.5 stars. Griffin's latest in her Tracer series takes us into the darker side of the internet with tough, beautiful, intelligent white hat hacker Lainey at the plot center. Reed is the charismatic, sexy detective she butts heads with, and the chemistry between them is intensely heated in the midst of a well crafted, edgy plot. When her friend Abrams is murdered, hacker Lainey Knox wants justice for her. She sends an anonymous text with possible leads to the lead detective on the case, Reed Novak. At first meeting, that both are drawn to each other, despite their 15-year age difference. As Lainey helps with the investigation, Reed discovers Lainey has her own secrets. Reed soon understands that he only needs Lainey's skills as a hacker, but he needs her safe and close next to him too. And we could be beautiful. 4 stars. Darkly funny at times, Huntley's airtight and highly polished debut is glossy, savage work of art. Clean, sharp, refined, and scary, Huntley's prose conjures Captain West so vividly that you feel as if you're thinking her let them eat cake thoughts. American Psycho level and passive aggressive dinner table feuds lend levity to a story that raises serious questions about class, money, and what it means to be a good person. The jaw dropping final scenes come so quickly that you'll find yourself bereft as you close the last chapter. Huntley's attention to detail and insight into people's ability to remain in the state of denial make this book definitely reading effortless. See what happens there. And let's see. Lisa Jackson, the girl who survived. Oops. All her life, she's been the girl who survived, orphaned at the age of 7 after a horrific killing spree at her family's Oregon cabin. Kara McIntyre is still searching for some kind of normal, but now, 20 years later, the past has come thundering back. Her brother Jonas, who was convicted of the murders, has unexpectedly been released from prison. The press is in a frenzy again, and suddenly Kara is receiving cryptic messages from her big sister Molly, who hasn't been seen or heard from since that deadly Christmas Eve. Oops. See what happens there. Ridley Pearson, The White Bone. 4.5 stars. Readers can always count on Pearson to deliver complex and exciting stories, but in this new risk agent novel, he outdoes himself, incorporating topical and timely themes of elephant ivy poaching, terrorism, and greed. Pearson thrusts protagonist Grace Chu and John Knox into a fight for their lives. The intense fear yet gritty determination to survive, and demonstrated by Grace, packs this tale with gut-punching emotion. When ex-military contractor John Knox receives a text from partner Grace Chu warning that she fears her cover may have been blown, she jumps into action. Knox must retrace the well-hidden steps of a woman who has been attempting to determine how €1 million worth of AIDS vaccine disappeared, all while eluding angry poachers on a parallel trail. The poaching of an elephant ivy fuels constant blood and slaughter. The threat from Al Shahib militants interferes with his pursuits of Grace, and Knox is pitted against the most savage and suicidal fighters in the world. Scary. Let's see. Night and Day, Iris Johansson. In the pulse-pounding conclusion of her newest trilogy, Johansson explores the extreme range that can exist when it comes to a mother's love or lack thereof. Eve Duncan's emotions are running high not only because she fears for young Cara Delaney, but also because of her own unexpected pregnancy. During the conclusion of previous book Hideaway, a deadly attack on Macduff's Run in Galka, Scotland, led to Cara being forcibly abducted by her estranged mother, Natalie Castino. Knowing Eve, Joe, and their friends will follow to rescue Cara, Natalie flees to Russia to take refuge with her powerful father. Natalie wants the treasure that Jane McGuire has been hunting for on Macduff land, and she will use her daughter's life as a bargaining chip. Oops. Wouldn't want somebody using my life as a bargaining chip. And we've got two left. We'll just do these. Jennifer McMahon, The Invited. In a quest for a simple life, Helen and Nate have abandoned the comforts of suburbia to take up residence on a 40-acre of rural land where they will begin the ultimate aspirational do-it-yourself project, the house of their dreams. When they discover that the beautiful property has a dark and violent past, Helen, a former history teacher, becomes consumed by the local legend of Harriet Breckenridge, a woman who lived and died there a century ago. With her passion for artifacts, Helen finds special materials to incorporate into the house: a beam from an old schoolroom, bricks from a mill, a mantle from a farmhouse, objects that draw her deeper into the story of Haiti and their descendants. 3 generations of Breckenridge women, each of whom died suspiciously. As the building project progresses, the home will become a place of menace and unfinished business, a new home now haunted that beckons its owners and their neighbors toward unimaginable danger. Ah, she brought all those spirits with her into the house by bringing the objects from their buildings where they died. I'm assuming she's bringing their ghosts in. Ah, and our last one of the day. I just want to double check. Uh, I don't know what happened. And if I did this one already, I'll kill myself. No. Here we go. River Road. 4.5 stars. A suspense-filled page-turner set in a frigid landscape that has the bleakest emotional state of the main character, Nan Lewis. As the mystery unfolds, readers wonder whether to trust Nam's memory or if everything is a facade. Oh. Nan Lewis, teaches creative writing at SUNY School in upstate New York. After learning she has denied tenure at the facility Christmas party, Nan abruptly leaves, taking the blind curve too fast and hitting a deer. When Nan tries to find the deer, she is unsuccessful. The next day, a policeman shows up at her door to inform her that one of her creative students was killed on the night before on River Road, and she is the prime suspect. Oops. How horrific can that be? How horrific can that be? So that was Suspense. I hope maybe you found something to read. I hope my $20 microphone worked and you heard me. 20 whole dollars. Let's see if it works. If it was a bargain, if it works or not. We'll see what happens. But I hope it was suspenseful. I'm sorry I couldn't dim the lights and have creative outlet. Oh, it stopped working. When it's not green, it's not working. So we'll see what happens. But I hope you found something in suspenseful to catch your attention. Maybe one of these authors will grab you and you'll sit down and read a good book, because they're all at least 4.5 or 4 or 5 star books. So they guaranteed should be good in somebody's eyes. So please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.